They got a lot of cards, right? As you start bringing in more coaches, it's more to deal to. If you don't increase that 30,000, your numbers for those coaches are going to go down. And that's exactly what happened. And as time went on, when I started, literally, there was days I had 10 customers in a day that I would get, which I thought was pretty good. And then here 2 years later, there were times like 2 customers, 3 customers in a week. So what I saw was a huge mistake the company was making is we were growing faster, the business side, than we had customers to support. Where I was able to talk to people about the business side of it and say, hey, in a couple months you'll have enough customers that it'll be profitable, that you'll make money, was no longer the truth. Because you wouldn't have enough. Because there was too many coaches involved. And still, to my opinion, there's way too many coaches involved. So that's what it became about. All of a sudden it became this grab for coaches and trying to grow your downline and bring in as many coaches. And, I bought into that and I did it, and I brought in my family and my friends and all kinds of people, related to me to try and get to Diamond, because that was the big push. So I get to Diamond, and at the time there was supposed to be this, the next big thing was this coach infomercial we were going to have, because, we saw all this stuff on TV. We were going to talk about the business opportunity on TV, and the founder, the CEO, Carl Deichler, who's Product Partners, is the main business that they operate under, I believe, and Beachbody and Product Partners are basically, I guess, the same entity. He was working night and day and going to get this infomercial out there, which is going to just bring in this huge flood of coaches, and all we had to do to get to Diamond. So we all kill ourselves to get to Diamond, and quite frankly, the infomercial was terrible. For whatever reason, they didn't go with it. They didn't run with it. It didn't. I never saw it air in my market, and I'm in the Philly region. If it did, it's not like we're P90X and the programs where you could see it all the time. For the most part, I think it pretty much flopped, and they didn't pursue it. So a lot of people worked really hard to get to Diamond Coach, and the payoff wasn't there. So here I am. I get to Diamond. I got all these people involved. Every member of my family tried to help me out and sign up and join on board. And I'm like, well, I need to look for some other way to, for this to work. So here's the next thing that I did. And hold on, I'm just going to get a little close to the camera. I want to check the time. All right, I'm at 12 minutes. Because I'm going to try and keep this to 20. 30 at the most. I decided, I was going to look and see what other coaches were doing. My first mistake, okay? Here's your Beachbody rule book. A lot of fine print, a lot of things to go through. It's 36 pages long of rules and things that you need to follow if you're a Beachbody coach. Okay? Mistake number 1 I made, first time I got in trouble with compliance department. I went, just Googled our products, went to see what other people were doing, saw these Google AdWords, saw these other stores that people had, and I was like, maybe I'll go do the same thing. So I went, started some Google AdWords. I never had picked up the rule book. Next thing I know, one day, bring, phone rings, and I get a call from the Beachbody compliance department, Jonathan Galfan, attorney for Beachbody, telling me that I'm going to be suspended because I violated the keywords. Quite frankly, at the time, guys, I didn't even know what a keyword was. I didn't know what he was talking about. I hadn't picked up the rule book and read it. I just went to look to see what other people were doing and figured out, this thing must work. I signed up for a Google AdWords account, made a couple ads, put them out there. Next, all I knew is, hey, I was getting sales. So I was all excited. I was like, wow, here's a great way for me to get sales. Not realizing that was violating a rule. But then it made me question some things. I was like, well, what are keywords? What is this stuff? And I found out, like, oh, okay, Beachbody and Product Partners won't let me use P90X, won't let me use Shailene Extreme, won't let me use Insanity, the names of their programs. And I'm going, well, I'm selling your programs for you, but I can't use the name? It just didn't make sense to me. I thought that was just completely stupid. Well, then what happened over time, which really pissed me off, was they started cracking down on it. And what you realized was I would start seeing ads for P90X on eBay and on Google AdWords for like $69, $79. Well, here it was going on in China. A bunch of bootleggers and people who are copying the product or copying it. They're putting up Google AdWords. Google's not stopping it because they're like, they're changing it slightly. Instead of doing P90X, they might put P space 90 space X, and Google would allow them to run that ad. And, meanwhile, I'm now getting killed. All of a sudden, my sales go to nothing. Well, in the meantime, I'm suspended for a month, so I have to wait for a month to start making money again. So during that month time, I'm like investigating everything. I'm turning everybody, I read the rule book inside out. I'm turning in all these other people that I see that are breaking the rules, because it ain't just me, it's plenty of the other coaches out there. And quite frankly, did Beachbody do much about it? I can tell you right now, they didn't, because there were plenty of places I turned in that they, were still breaking the rules and were still doing things they shouldn't be doing. And it was very frustrating, and coaches under me would call me up and say, hey, Paul, I just saw this. I'd be like, yeah, I know, I already turned them into compliance, and they're still doing it. I don't know why. Compliance, it seems like they pick on some people and not others. And that was the feeling for most of my team members, for me. One of my coaches under me, bang, she got suspended, same thing, for a violation of, I think it was a keyword thing too, that she'd forgot that she had running out there, and next thing you know, she's suspended for a couple weeks. So just unbelievable, like when they tell you like you're building your own business, here's the point, guys. It's not your business. You're building their business. You're building Beachbody's business and Product Partners business. All those customers you have are in their system, their email system that you have to contact through them. You're not allowed to do it any other way. Unless you do what I did. And there's the other way how I got in trouble, and I'll just cut to the chase. I built my own, what I did was I built my own store. And they're not going to tell you this, all right? When you sign up, they go, oh, you get a web store, which you have to pay $14 a month for. And if you don't know anything about internet marketing, let me school you a little bit right here, okay? Google hates duplicate content of anything. Well, there's 20,000 Beachbody coaches out there with 20,000 stores that all look identical. You have very little control over what you can change in your store. One or two words here and there. You can't optimize it. You can't do anything with it other than put orders through it. The best coaches who do the most sales with the most stores have their own stores that they built, which is what I did. I went out, I learned how to build a store. And sat down, put the hours and work and time into building my own store. So I started getting sales because I was starting to be able to be seen by the search engines and in Google and certain places. So ultimately, I'll cut to the chase here with a couple things, because, all right, I'm at 18 minutes. I'm going to try and keep this to 20. One of the things I learned about internet marketing that they won't teach you, the high-up coaches are not going to show you their tricks of the trade, because, they want you to spend money, they want you to do okay, but they don't want you to overtake them, okay? They're not going to tell you if they have a really rocking store how they're doing it. They're not going to tell you how to do it, all right? Trust me. If they have something that's working, you got 20,000 people competing with you for customers and sales. They're not going to tell you how they do it, all right? I built my own store, and the other thing I learned was through internet marketing, the money is in the list. Well, what that means is the money is in the customer list, okay? You have nothing unless you own that customer list. Now think about it. If Beachbody decides to go out of business tomorrow and take their thousands and thousands of customers with them, and they can go start another business named something else, called, I don't know, whatever, Moon Pie Body, they can take all their customers with them, and you got nothing. Okay, they can end the Beachbody coaching opportunity tomorrow. But if you have your own store and you have your own opt-in box and you have people sign in through there and you capture their email addresses yourself, if something happens to you, you get kicked out, like happened to me, you at least still have your customer list. All right? So if you don't know anything about opt-in boxes or anything, you need to learn. And if you want to be successful at this and be able to sell stuff online, you're going to have to build your own store. Now, and they're not going to tell you that. And the main thing is you better know the rules. And here's what got me fired.